All right, guys, Blitz World Series action coming at you here in the Division 4 on the Prime map. Yeah, the map's been playing pretty good so far. I've been in Quick Match quite a bit. If you guys haven't been playing the map, you should. You guys should come play. I highly, highly recommend it. 24/7, you guys can queue up, come play games in Quick Match. I got a video that walks you through it. You can get set up and playing in about 10 minutes. RedAlert2.com. Now, we are in the Division 4 tournament, Division 4. Again, action coming at you all month long here. We got $400 in prizes going out thanks to our generous sponsors. Bunch of divisions. We got pro action, semi-pro, free-for-all games. You guys know how it goes. We're rocking and rolling with it. Next month, we're doing it all again. As always, I appreciate all of your support. Liking, commenting, subscribing, all that stuff's free for you, helps me immensely. If you are feeling particularly generous, you do want to throw any money into the prize pool for next month, all donations go back to the players, help me create more content. All that information, again, can be found at redalert2.com. So starting things off here in the Division 4 tournament, we got 5 or 6 players today doing round robin style. You guys know the drill. A bunch of new faces in here, should be pretty fun. I don't know most of these guys. Cakeeater did win the Division 5 yesterday, so cakeeater, a pretty competent player, but looks like Chance has things even more figured out. Early fodder, dogs coming in as well now, looping around on that top side. Nice preemptive sentry gun from cakeeater, but a little slow on the repair. And now Cakes takes way out of position, sends one tank in, now one tank behind. Not the way to do it. You want to get those tanks nice in a little bunch there. And the big thing is the tank control, guys. You do want to be clicking those tanks and engagements like that with fodder. Just a little bit of lag, but not enough to slow down a couple hungry players like this. So yeah, we are going to see Chance pull back here as the reinforcements come in. That sentry gun got a little bit too much done. But the big thing I noticed there is that sentry gun was not being repaired. It's so important, guys, to know your hotkeys. You really, really want to know your hotkeys, and you want to use those quickly. As soon as the sentry gun starts getting hit, if you start immediately repairing it, it's going to get a lot more damage done, and it costs you very little. Now Chance kind of dancing around here. I like this move. He has all of his units together, and he's bouncing back and forth, keeping Cakeeater on his toes. Both players now on 2 war factories, so a very standard build here. If you guys haven't seen the video, and now we're going to get into a base trade scenario here. Should not stop for this oil, not the move here. You want to go right for the guts. Your opponent's going to, this game's going to be ending very, very soon. You want to get right in there and grab the MCV. And now Cakeeater runs with his MCV. That will buy him some time here, but there's 2 war factories left, and Chance needs to be switching over to drones. We don't see the drones coming now, Chance is going to pull back now, and Cake going to, if Cake dies on this war factory, he'll lose everything and will lose the game because of it. He did get the war factory, but we've talked about that before at the lower level. It's so tempting, right? You think, he's only got a war factory left. The problem is, look at the counter punch. If he would have stopped and clicked down the tanks, he probably still would have lost. But again, guys, you got to know those equations. You got to know what's going to happen. You always be thinking about the counter punch. I know it's fun to take out your opponent's last war factory, but oftentimes it will cost you the game. So today, guys, we will have the losers staying in. So, all right, guys, here we go. Point number 2. Got Holdor in red, we got Mitch in yellow. So this one's an exciting match for me, guys. I've mentioned this a couple times so 15 years ago, 20 years ago when this game came out, every day after school, me and Mitchell, childhood best friends, what were we in, 3rd grade or something? I don't know, 4th grade, something like that. Every day we would go and we would play Red Alert 2 until our knuckles were bleeding, every single day. So me and Mitchell didn't really stay, we didn't really fell out of friends. You know how elementary school friends go. Didn't really stay in touch with them over the years. I mean, every once in a while I see them. I'm from a small town. But anyway, the point is, all of a sudden, someone mentions to him, yeah, Ivor is now like hosting Red Alert 2 tournaments. Mitchell's like, no way. Mitchell hits me up. He's like, I want to play Red Alert 2. I'm like, Mitchell, let's get you in there. So we get Mitchell in here, and this is Mitch. In yellow is my childhood friend. 20 years ago, me and this kid, every day for hours we're playing this game. And 20 years later, here we are still playing. It's just hilarious. Puts a huge smile on my face. So me and him have just been like geeking out lately. He's just been texting strategies and stuff. He's just been getting piss pounded in quick match. But I think he's figuring it out pretty quick. We'll see here. But I've been looking at his numbers. Like, he's in there. He's like, man, this game's hard. I go look, and it's just like Latov is just ringing him out like 30 games in a row. I'm like, all right, Mitch, just stick with it, buddy. So anyway, Mitch is here, facing off versus Holdor. Both players amassing the troops here. Looks like Holdor did get that 2nd war factory. Did you guys catch that? Did Holdor fix his build order? I'm not exactly sure. Both players, though, playing kind of the top of the hill. Holdor spreading out a little bit here. Yeah, I've played Mitch a few times. Actually, you know, I've been playing Mitch. He's looked strong in some of his games, but I think he's getting a little bit too passive in some games. And a lot of these guys are getting a little bit too on their heels because of they're playing players that are a lot better. So Holdor cannot push right now. He doesn't have fodder to push in here. These conscripts are going to get way too much done. He needs to pull back and try to get a sentry gun out or get some dogs involved. So the best counter for conscripts are just simply dogs. Conscripts really shouldn't be getting that much value done. They're usually getting something done when a player has a lapse in judgment. All right, so now a third war factory for Mitch, and it looks like he does have the money for... Oh, Holdor as well. Both these guys. All right, so both these guys pretty dialed in. Holdor should have another oil probably before that third war factory. We'll see, though. If you just need to be careful. Holdor needs to be careful with fodder and sentry guns. But Holdor is bringing some tanks on the bottom side. And I've noticed this is one of Mitchell's weaknesses. He does leave his backside open a little bit here. And a lot of the lower level players do on this map. They kind of get zoned in on one area, playing one half of the map. Gotta watch that backside. Now, of course, when you build your whole base on top of this hill, there is a cost. And the cost is these oils are very, very problematic. So look at this split from Holdor. Holdor coming in now. Mitch does see it, though. If he can dive on this oil, it'll take the MCV with it. So Mitch needs to try to run with the MCV right now. That oil's going to go, and the MCV is going to go with it. He's not repairing the oil. Oh, loses the MCV. The question is, can Mitch handle this with the counter punch? Mitch is heavily out tanking topside, gonna roll through. Can Holdor get these tanks over? Maybe he could switch to drones, spam the sentry guns, try to stay alive. Not gonna happen, I do not think. But yeah, nice play. I like that from Holdor. He was getting behind and he spotted that weakness. And you saw Holdor was actually doing kind of the pro move where you shake a hand up here, and then you punch him over here. And I like that from Holdor. He was kind of baiting up here, and then he snuck it on that backside and targeted the oil, which was the pro move, instead of grabbing the MCV, obviously. But unfortunately wasn't able to hold on the backside. Sometimes when you're preparing that move, you can already start preemptively building some drones, building some sentries, and just getting ready to try to slow down the counterpunch. If you know the counterpunch is coming, trying to prepare for it a little bit, but nice little offense. Mitch takes it home. All right, here we go. So Mitch in red, Cake in yellow. Again, Mitch, the old not even high school. It's so funny. Now when I think in my head, like the old days, I think of high school. Me and Mitch were friends in elementary school so long ago. Let's think about that. I was 10 years old. 20 years ago when this game came out, I was 10 years old. What grade was I in? Let's think. I remember I got my driver's license when I was 14 in 8th grade. Let's think about that. 8th grade, 14. So 4 years before that, 4th grade. Me and Mitch were playing this game in 4th grade. All right, two guy, how you doing, man? You figuring out the blitz economy? You getting things figured out? Cake eater, early sentry gun, couple conscripts running across. These conscripts. Oh, look. Let's see if he knows how to alt. Yep. So he's driving past the conscripts. You want to hold alt. Hold alt. Click on the infantry to run them over. Alternatively, you can get some dogs. So now Mitch pumping a bunch of fodder here. That'll definitely make a difference here in this engagement. Cake looks like he's playing a bit more passive. Now, correct me if I'm wrong. Was Cake the player who brought that early tech rush in one of his games? Ooh, loses the eagle on the pad. That is so tough, man. These eagles, at the top level, it's going to be so fun to see what these guys come up with these eagles. But at the lower level, even if you guys have been watching me play quick match, keeping the eagle wars are so annoying, and you just can't afford to go flat cannon. So it's kind of just eagle versus eagle early on. Cake eater now splitting one tank off to go bottom side. And Mitch, wow, and look how quick, nice quick reaction there. Two tanks coming back. Drone right down the middle. Drone, now drone in the tank. Okay, nice. I was like, oh god, does he know how to control click? He does. It's a nice counter. Now Mitch has two tanks on the backside, but Cake's gonna adjust that. Overcommits to that. So when a player overcommits like that, sometimes you can hop in and try to expose the side that they've left weakened. Alright, so now 4 oils. So Mitch should have another war factory coming out now. Cake already on his second. So Mitch a bit behind on the war factories here. Going to lose a bit of a tank advantage here. This is kind of a tough position. So if you just find yourself in this spot, if you find yourself not keeping up with your macro, if your war factories are behind, if your economy's behind, you're going to fall behind on rhinos. So you really have to try to find a way to mix things up. Try to split. Try to maybe go radar, get desolators involved. There are ways to help yourself come back. Maybe go into a tech push. Maybe try to go battle lab if he's going to keep massing war factories. But it can be a bit tricky if a player just sits back and does get ahead of you like this. it can be a difficult position. So now Mitch is going to split off. Now Mitch has a good group on the bottom side here. I'd like to see Mitch go over and attack that oil and just kind of force Cake Eater's hand. The problem right now is that Mitch doesn't have any sentry guns. Oh, Mitch is going to get cut out of position, outgunned here on the backside. So now Mitch is going to try to go for a bit of a base trade. We'll see if Cake accepts this base trade. Mitch has enough tanks to slow down on the backside. Mitch gets in. Will he get any value here? Going to dive on this War Factory. Needs to be careful. Forces the sell. Now does need to click down these tanks. Going to try to click down these tanks. Mitch has a few tanks on the front side as well, so he does get cleaned up on the backside. Does force a sell on one War Factory, and that actually gives Mitchell a two War Factory lead now. So now Mitch is a bit more comfortable, and he's on 6K. So both players on a good economy. Mitch has twice as many War Factories. I'm not sure how he actually caught up on that, but forcing the sell on the one was definitely big here. So we'll see how quickly Cake Eater can get back into this. But Mitch does not have enough to push into these sentry guns now. He's bringing conscript fodder. He needs to keep an eye on his economy. If he pumps too much fodder here, he could get in a tricky spot. But he knows he's ahead right now, and he does want to try to get some value out of it. But there's a few sentry guns that are going to make that a bit difficult. Now Cake Eater brings out a third War Factory as Mitch goes to 5. So Mitch on 5 War Factories now, so still a 2 War Factory lead, and will continue to go ahead on Rhinos. Cake now going to bring a split, bring in a decent batch to the bottom side, maybe going to go full bottom side. Now we'll see how Mitch handles this reaction. Nice split from Mitch, but he is going to lose that oil on the bottom side. Let's see if he can make him pay a few tanks for it. Ooh, and that's a clean hit for Cake. You got to love those hit and runs. You get in and out without losing any tanks. That's always nice. So Mitch now spamming the conscripts. That middle barracks able to get conscripts going to both sides now. Ooh, some pathing issues for Mitch now as he has 2 tanks going down the middle and destroying the wall. A couple of those tanks got a bit confused here. This point of the game where things can start really kind of getting out of hand. Now, Mitch has a ton of conscripts right now. Mitch actually could maybe push this position. It would come down to unit control, obviously. Cake's going to go topside. This is actually a bit tricky. Mitch's build right now kind of forces him through a bottleneck right here. So Mitch tries to go right down the gut instead. This actually could be a good move. We'll see how Cake handles this fodder. I'm surprised. It doesn't seem like Mitch is out tanking as much as he should be. Mitch now has 6 War Factories to 3. He hasn't been bottoming out, so I'm not exactly sure why Mitch isn't more ahead on tanks, but there's quite a few smoking ones in here for Cake, and Cake now with no fodder. Right now, if Mitch pushed with this fodder advantage, you think he gets something done, and Cake has the radar out, guys, so you know the Desolator's coming. As soon as that Desolator comes, all of these conscripts are going to be totally useless, and Cake now going topside. He's probably baiting him down the middle. Possible Desolator coming. Mitch goes right down the gut here, and Cake now has his tank split up. Mitch diving on the War Factory, not the move here. Now caught himself in the middle. That diving on that War Factory could cost Mitch this game. Going to lose a lot of tanks here. Definitely had a tank advantage going in, but all of that time, guys, that's 2-3 shells all spent shooting at that War Factory, and as you do that, all of your tanks just get pummeled from the sides. In an engagement like that, you cannot be clicking an enemy building. Conscripts on the backside, I'm not sure exactly what they just got. Maybe an oil derrick. Mitch now conscripts to the front line trying to hold this position. He's got an elite conscripts. 2 elite conscripts doing work now, and Mitch does push back there. And for Mitch to hold that position really shows how far ahead he was in the beginning of that engagement. But that diving on that War Factory almost cost him the game. And again, you see him diving on the War Factory. Not the move, guys. That's one of the #1 things for you lower players to learn. Do not dive on a building when you're getting hit from the side. You want to take out anything that's shooting you first, then dive on buildings, except in extreme situations. Maybe you're diving for an MCV or something like that. Now drones out. Let's see what kind of value Mitch can get here as he starts getting drone. The drones actually could slow down this force, but there's quite a few conscripts in here as well. Mitch going to dive on the MCV here. Oh, Mitch has tons of rhinos behind as well. So that's going to be a GG, but a very, very close one there. Wow. 4 Lights, how you doing, buddy? Yeah, so you guys, when there's lag, just report lag in Discord, and then the mods will get in there. We can time people out. A lot of times mods just aren't online. I didn't realize I could do it. So I timed out Gadgy. Gadgy is the other guy who's been lagging quite a bit. So I timed out Gadgy, but if someone's lagging, report it in my Discord, and we'll time them out. All right, so Mitch, I can go with the conservative build, keep staying up on the ridge. I don't think that's a very good idea. I do think you need to spread yourself out, build off the eagle pad on the bottom. It's definitely the meta right now, but the map's still young. It'll be interesting to see how it goes. Or you could build off the bottom side, but you do, I think, want to stretch yourself out. You get in situations where your oils become a bit problematic, but maybe just War Factory up on the hill. Ooh, Mitch gets caught shooting those dogs. Oh, and again switches back to the dogs. Got to click those tanks, guys. So microing tanks, here's what it looks like. You click on an enemy tank. As soon as the shells are in the air to kill that tank, you immediately switch over to another tank. So you don't want to overshoot, you don't want to undershoot, and most importantly, you do not want your tanks to kill the enemy tank and then all of a sudden start shooting enemy dogs. Got to keep clicking the enemy tanks. Lots of fodder involved for both players. Both players good tank control here, but Mitchell not smashing that T-key. Both players not bringing their reinforcements to the battle now. Gonna need to get that third tank involved here. Does get a shot in, and the Eagle in as well. Oh, does the Eagle not have a bomb? What's going on here? Wow, and this one's a knife fight. Both players at each other's throats here. Very, very close match. And Mitch doing a good job with that Eagle. Going to get over and hit another Rhino. Devastating for these tanks, these Rhinos to be taking hits like that. Let's see if he took... Yeah, so that Rhino now at half health. Makes a big, big difference. All right, so... and check those bingo cards, guys. Lots of freebie events out. The bingo events. I know you guys are here for the bingo. You act like you care about Red Alert 2. I know you don't care about Red Alert 2. All right, so... very even builds now from both players. Drones now for chance to try to catch up here. Sentry going to be a very nice move here for Mitch to try to slow down these drones. Going to get in and click down those tanks. Needs to be careful of these drones though. Mitch now heavily droned. All of the drones are in. Oh, all of Mitch's tanks. So right here, guys, this is a position everyone's used to. Oh, okay, so right there, what you want to do, guys, this is actually a good lesson. Usually you want to just destroy your tanks. That's usually the move. But what you want to do in that position, when all of your tanks are droned, send them into your enemy base. Because then when the enemy sentry guns are killing your Rhinos, that'll kill the drones, and you can dive and take a barracks. So right there, if you ever find yourself saying, I mean, let's say 70% of your tanks are droned, just send them downfield, try to get some offensive value. It's not worth trying to click down your own tanks, it's just not going to work. Now, drones still massing. In this position, there's a few counters for drones. Conscripts can work well, but sentry guns, if you're not attacking, the sentry guns work well. Chance now coming from the backside. Let's see what he tries to do here. So now Mitch going to pull himself. And I love these conscripts from Mitch, especially looks like Chance is going to let him get away with, getting these conscripts out. There's no Desolator. A lot of players don't use Desolators at the lower levels, so that's why the conscripts can get so much value. Mitch not repairing his oil. Again, guys, make sure you have those hotkeys ready. If you can, download the auto clicker in my Discord, and then you want to set I would set one of the keys on your mouse. On your mouse, set one of the keys to repair so that you can really quickly start repairing. Repairing makes a huge difference. It'll make or break some tight positions here. Mitch now attacking up the hill, has himself in a bit of a bottleneck, but way out tanking. Conscripts coming in doing work as well. Mitch diving on the oil here. Just needs to click down these sentry guns, click down these Rhinos, and finish things out. Another batch of Rhinos topside. And look at the macro that Mitch was able to keep up on the back end now on 5 War Factories. Very, very nice. In this position, Mitch would have to start pretty much control clicking the ground to throw this position. But now, obviously, you want to be engaging with these forces as well. Just clicking down his tanks. Not much for him to do wrong here. Very impressive, though. That was a very, from both players, a very wild game, a lot going on. And ultimately, what you saw there was the macro on the back end. Mitch, keeping up on the back and keeping his buildings going down. And I've done it as you guys watch my QM, you've seen me do it. All of a sudden I'm in a really tight micro fight, and all of a sudden I look over and I haven't been building a building for the last 20 minutes. And that makes it very, very difficult. Mitch going to dive on the MCV here, should be able to get it. MCV goes down, 1 War Factory left. Chance still pumping the drones, trying to slow down. Not gonna work. Mitch puts one on the board.
Building. Construction complete. New construction options. Building. Unit ready. Unit ready.
Alright, if we're getting GI rush, it's GG's, already. Oh, those look like Soviet dogs, though, to me. It's a good sign.
Waiting order.
Unit ready. Unit ready. Construction complete.
Damn it.
Unit lost. Unit ready. Building.
Ready, comrade. Changing position.
Unit ready.
Location confirmed.
Building. Unit ready.
Comrade,
Building.
order received.
Unit
For the
ready.
Union.
Construction complete.
Vehicle reporting.
ready.
Order received. Vehicle reporting. Changing position.
Unit ready. Unit lost.
Vehicle reporting. Location confirmed.
Construction complete. Unit lost.
Vehicle waiting order.
Unit ready. Unit lost. Building. Unit lost. Unit promoted. Unit
Comrade,
ready.
order received. Vehicle reporting. Changing position. Moving.
Ready. Unit lost. Building.
Target sight.
Unit
Oh my god, we just got so much value. Can we get that? Did I get too greedy? Did I get too greedy? Counterpunch coming, counterpunch coming.
unit lost. Unit ready. Construction complete.
Oh my god, oh my god. The conscripts on the backside, boys.
Comrade. Moving. We will bury them. Changing position. Attacking.
Unit ready.
Ready, comrade. Comrade,
Unit
on the
ready.
order.
New rally point established.
Changing position.
Oh my god, you guys, we were so far behind. Wow, you guys. Wow, we were so far behind in that game. Those conscripts. Wow. Yeah, I can't believe I pulled that off.